It was the middle of the night, and we lost our dinghy, so we set off in search for it. That was not going to be our only problem of the night, though. Our starboard engine started overheating while we were out looking for the dinghy. I had to spend the entire next day fixing the problem. And more bad news the next day as our generator wouldn't start. When it rains, it pours, and we were out in the middle of the Bahamas without an umbrella.
It's 2:05 in the morning and the dinghy's gone. So we're gonna go look for it. We're about to head out. Bobby's pulling up anchor. Yeah, it's pretty dark.
Yeah.
Let us know if you guys see anything. We're looking for a dinghy.
One thing I've been worried about the entire trip actually happened. The dinghy came untied from the boat. It's easy to do with how stiff that line was. Luckily, it was a full moon and our spotlight worked, so we were off to look for it, headed downwind.
Bobby found the dinghy!
I can't believe it.
What's up with this?
She's nuts. I thought the odds were slim to fucking none.
I'm sure they were.
Miraculously, somehow in the middle of the night, we found our dinghy drifting downwind. But our problems were just starting that night. Our engine alarm went off, indicating there was a problem with one of the engines. Our starboard engine was overheating, and I had to shut it down. We limped our way back to the anchorage on one engine.
Well, I can't believe we found the dinghy last night. I thought for sure it was gone. It must have. So I don't know how much of the video, was usable from last night. It was pretty dark. We didn't want to turn our night vision, our lights on, because we didn't want to lose our night vision. So, but I got up to go to the bathroom about 2 in the morning, and just it sounded too quiet out the back, and so I went to check on the dinghy, and sure enough, the dinghy was gone. So. Pulled up anchor. It was a full moon. That's probably the only reason I decided to go after it. It was a full moon. And luckily we have the spotlight on the front of the boat too. So pulled up anchor and we went about, really it was only 10-15 minutes actually out there looking around and found it. I said it must not have been gone long. So I thought I tied it off really well. I guess I didn't. I don't know. I thought I tied it off just like I always did, but maybe it didn't. But while we were doing that, we were on our way back. The starboard engine was getting hot. So we shut the starboard engine down and then came in on the port engine. So this morning, I got some other maintenance stuff to do. I got to work on the change the generator part and whatever. So I'll get into the starboard engine and see if I can figure out what it was. Hopefully it's just like an impeller for the raw water pump, or maybe we stuck some garbage up in there or something. Hopefully it's nothing serious. All right, so the first part I'm changing is just the anti-siphon valve on the generator. It's got this little air gap up here that's supposed to make sure water doesn't go backwards. Water's coming out and just going out that little vent, so it's not closing when it's under pressure. So got a new one and switch it out. Shouldn't take long. And then I will start getting, I closed the seacock for that first. So I'll hook this back up and then I will close the seacock for the engine and see if it can tell me what's going on. All right, got that all set. So changed out that valve. Now down right below me is the seacock for the engine raw water. So I'm gonna close that and open it. Just from looking at the outside though, it looks pretty clean, but you never know what's on the inside. I had to use some muscles to get the strainer open. I'm about to pull it out, see what happens. Oh man, that's so clean. Yeah, it's pretty clean. That wasn't the issue. It looked pretty clean. I opened the seacock back up. I'm gonna do a little test run, see if there's any water coming out the exhaust. Just did a test run and there's no water coming out the exhaust, which is good and bad. It's bad. It's good in that it's not a problem with the engine itself. It's likely a raw water impeller has gone. It's just a matter of time now. I just gotta pull out the old one, put in the new one. If I'd done it before in these engines, I'd be like, oh yeah, it's a 10-minute, 20-minute deal, but I don't even know where it is on this engine, so I've got to find that and change it. It's relatively easy to change the impeller. Well, I say, in theory, it's relatively easy to change the impeller, but where they happen to place this one, so it's on the starboard side, so it's inboard and on the very bottom, so getting at it is going to be very difficult and a huge pain in the butt. It's down in the middle of the boat between the two engines, and I am not a tiny person. Normally on a boat, you just you remove a plate on the side and you can just change it out. On this, you have to take off the whole water pump, so you have to disconnect the belts and all that, and you got to take the water pump off. It's turned into an all-day deal. I had to remove the exhaust to get in here to get at. This is like the worst place I've ever seen for an impeller. It's going to be, normally this would be a, like a 20-minute job. This is going to take all day. It sucks. It's so hard to get at. Like I can't even, I do everything by braille down here to reach it.
Yeah.
There's no way I can get my head down there to look and turn a screwdriver at the same time.
Do you want help?
There's nothing you can do.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Well, okay, I had to remove the exhaust to get at it here. I got the water pump removed, but you have to remove the whole water pump to change out the impeller. Terrible design, if you ask me. But anyway, so you have two hoses going in. You got a supply and an output. The supply hose is it's down there, but I'll show you on another one up here. The supply hose has a hose clamp on it, and the nut has broken off or rusted off, so I can't actually get a screwdriver on there to turn it. So luckily there's enough play in the hose that I'm just going to cut the hose on the back side of the fitting and pull the whole thing out, and then I can get at it later. Well, all that, and the impeller looks pretty good. But the problem is, it's such a hard thing to get to. Plus, I couldn't get the pump out in one piece. I had to get it apart to get the pump out, just because there was a bracket in the way. So I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and put a new impeller in there, put it all back together, see what happens. But I don't know.
Have you figured out how to shrink yourself to like a third your size? Yeah.
No, I haven't. That'd be nice though. So now I got to put it all back together.
How is it going? Oh, I'm not even gonna ask. Not even gonna ask. Ignore me. Alright, just gotta put the exhaust back on and give it a test run. I'm not real thrilled just because, I think that other impeller looks fine, but well, it's working. We got water coming out, so that's a good sign. The design on that was terrible. That took me more than 4 hours just to change an impeller because I had to take apart the exhaust. I had to get underneath there somehow, and then the pump wouldn't come out in one solid unit, so I had to split the pump in half while it's still in place, then change out the impeller, put the pump in two pieces, and then rig everything back. 4-hour job, which should have been a 20-minute job. Thanks, engineers. You guys are awesome. But what do you think? I'm so excited. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for saving the day.
Yeah. Four hours to change an impeller. At least it's working now, so cheers. Oh.
Bobby's having an interesting day.
Well, couldn't sleep last night. I was worried about the dinghy after we got it back, so I put a second line on it. Somehow that line just got caught up under in the prop or something. I don't know, so I gotta go clear it.
But nothing's going quite right. Like ever since 2 a.m. It's just been one of those days where everything's crazy. He also just took a shower, so that sucks. He's getting in the water. Alright, this is gonna be maybe his 4th heroic activity of the day. And there he goes. We've lost him. That was it?
Yeah. He's just stuck under the prop.
Oh, that was fast.
Yeah.
I'm glad that wasn't worse. He just got out of the shower. Like, just got out of the shower, was like, okay, let's go get a beer. I'm done. 4 hours of hard work. Paid off, and then, like, we step outside, and that's what he had to deal with. After recording, just in time for him to take his pants off. I'm sorry, guys. I missed it. Let's see what kind of excitement is going on outside.
It's always something. I think it's a starter. It's a nice view.
I made sure I was presentable, like, waist up.
Yeah, starter. So, you can hear it. I think it's a starter. So, I've tried all the things. I tapped the starter with the hammer, seeing if I can dislodge the solenoid. That's not working. I also rotated the crank a couple, turns just to kind of, sometimes I like a little dead spot, and but it's not working. Let me try tapping and starting it at the same time, but it sounds to me like it's a starter. A lot of times if you just tap the starter, it'll go. No. Okay, well, we were hoping to go to a marina today anyway, so we may, because we got a conference call at 10, I may just skip my run. We may just go now to the little farmer's key. I think they have power there.
Yeah.
And so we'll see if we can get a space on the dock. Because I've got a conference call at 10, I need an hour for that.
Okay.
And we can't cook or anything without the generator, so, yeah.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Well, all that work yesterday, probably for nothing, because I was getting checks on the motors this morning and noticed that the temperature on the starboard engine was already over 100 degrees before even hitting start. So I shot it with my little gun here, and it was showing like 75, 80 degrees on the thermostat housing. And so consulted with Jamie Switzer, my mechanic and broker there, American Yachts, thank you. And he said, check the temperature sensor wiring. So I jiggled the wiring a little, and now it's reading normal. So all that work yesterday, probably for nothing. It was just a loose wire. But that's boat life. Boating is balls, as my friend used to say. So hopefully the engine's good now. Don't have to worry about that too much. So we're going to pull the dinghy up and get moving. Because I got a conference call in a little less than 2 hours, and it's about 30-40 minutes over to this next marina, where hopefully we can get power. If not, we'll just anchor there for a minute and do the call and continue on to Georgetown. Because we can't even cook without the generator, and the starter's gone bad, so.